Alright, match one with Jacob's version of the deck. One land, can't keep. Once again, one land, can't keep. Keep. Put back. Stomping Ground. Bird Migration, I guess. Okay, we're up against Merfolk. As the one Merfolk we could not let remain in play. Yep, the old bottom two lands get punished with bottom, or bottom of land, I guess. Hexcatcher. Okay, nothing like getting run over by Merfolk here. The only card I'm really interested in here is Gargoth, I guess. Might also be interested in some number of these Cavern of Souls. Well, at least it's a somewhat keepable hand. Okay, so we have currently 4 of the 5. The only thing we're missing is blue. Okay. for a copy of the non-legendary version. And GG. Turn 4. Oops, I win. Okay. So at the moment we have 4 Carnosaurs, 3 Gyruda, 4 Quintorious, and 2 Gargaroth really to draw to. Yeah, I kind of like my odds. Mm-hmm. Guess they could have Mistbinder here. Okay, so we die. It was a calculated gamble, but I figured we'd top deck some type of payoff, but you figure. So we had 47 cards left in library. We had 3 Gyruda, 4 Carnosaur, 4 Quintorious, and 2 Gargaroths. That's 3, 4, 4, 11, 13. 13 out of 47. So 25% chance each draw step. 25 to 27% chance. And yeah, so no such luck. Alright, match 2. Pretty good hand here. Okay, well, humans is problematic. Especially if they back this up with a Thalia. Which of course they do. Alright. Bring those in. Mm-hmm. Okay, so currently I have one red source, 2 red sources. So we need to get the island to complete the Vanguard's fine. Okay, so mm-hmm. Alright, opponent explodes. Okay, got to try to win a game 3 on the draw. Yeah, we can't keep the 5 land, no acceleration hand, no interaction hand. Seems less likely their opponent has something like, Okay, I need another red. Guess we get red then. See, it seems less likely their opponent has something like 1 mana spell that's drawing a blank at the moment. Okay, untap land. Yay, untap land. Three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's kind of annoying. And lose to pretty good hits off of Collected Company there. So, alright. Match number 4. Match number 3, sorry. Okay, play that out. Okay, it gives us a little bit more clear picture of what we need to grab with Greater Tanuki. Pitching Spark Double here. Pass to our opponent. Ah, okay. Just do it the easy way then. Hit your Spark Doubles first, and it's easy from there. Don't think we really want any of these cards, so just click Submit. So, I don't know. Like, this version obviously is a little bit different than the one based off of Hero Sakai for Magic Online that we've played more of on the channel, and I've played more of overall, with the pitch things for treasures, having Torrential Gearhulk. But I do think their matchup spread seems largely the same. I think the aggressive decks are a dog in just because you don't combo before turn 4. And there are any number of things that can disrupt what you're doing. Like this hand, okay. We have Herd Migration, Leyline Binding, Spark Double. This hand is, by all accounts, should be a mulligan, but when you're up against the Thoughtseize Duress deck, I think you just tend to keep ones that can cast your spells and hope to rip off the top. Because I guarantee you we're going to get hit by a turn 1 discard spell here. Yep. Probably going to take Herd or Leyline Binding, because it's the only one that's mildly relevant. Okay, 1, 2... Yep. Like, this is not the most aggressive start for our opponent, but it could easily turn south if they have something like a Shouldered here. This Shouldered just chunks real hard. Okay, Blood Tithe Harvester, not fantastic for us, but it's fine. Hiss for 6, which means we're probably on about a 2-turn clock here. So. So we're likely just going to have to jam Quintorious next turn, whether we want to or not. They've got, well, they might have something. It's kind of hard to say. But this is one of those you just gotta jam situations. They could have Torch, Bone Crusher Giant, or Shouldered's Edict. Okay. Okay, we were dead a couple different ways there. Yeah, I learned that despite the fact they don't leave in much creature removal, the fact that they have Bloodtide Harvester as one of their main aggressive pieces against us also means that, like, 5-mana creatures that die are kind of annoying too. Okay. So, the Sand can't reasonably cast any of its spells, cannot cast the Acceleration piece, can't cast Bedeck Bedazzle, and doesn't cast Leyline Binding until turn 3. Pretty sure that's something like that. Alright, the sand isn't fantastic, but we'll keep it. Turn on Thoughtseize. Mm-hmm. Take the hit for 3. See what the cast post combat. Mm-hmm. Don't really like like drawing cards in the face of a Shouldered, but so because I didn't play the red land last turn, I don't have enough life to play Quintorious, even though we top decked it. Okay. It's kind of hard to say. Like, our opponent could have another Bitter Triumph or Shouldered Zeeks in hand, so that isn't even necessarily guaranteed to win, but it at least, or plus they also had one cycle to find some of those cards. So, yeah, not playing to our outs cost us this game. So, actually, that last point was a little bit of revisionist history, because we would have been dead either way, because if we would have shocked in to play Keruga, then our opponent still would have killed the Keruga, and we would have been at -1 life at the draw step. Or we wouldn't have been able to play Keruga, and they still would have had a Bitter Triumph chilling for a Quintorious. So either way, I think we end up losing that game. So Quintorious is a weird deck. Like, I don't really like this configuration of it, just from what I know of how to build the deck when I was working on this kind of style of the deck. I'm not opposed to Gyruda, but I think you need a little bit better balance on your ramp spells. I think the ideal curve for this deck is like turn 2 interaction, turn 3 ramp, turn 4 Quintorious. And I'm not sure that this particular configuration does that well enough. Alternatively, you could have your turn 3 ramp, turn 4 Quintorious, but you also have to have your hands where you double ramp into Carnosaur or Gyruda. And like, this deck really folds hard to disruptive elements of aggressive decks. Thalia out of Convoke and Humans. Voldaren, Hexcatcher, or counterspells, it really struggles against interaction of any kind, plus a lot of pressure. The same thing kind of holds true for Rakdos. I think my overall record against Rakdos is like pretty close to 500, with a lot of it being if they back up their Thought Seizes with a good amount of disruption, or they back up their Thought Seizes and Duresses with a good amount of pressure, they tend to win the game very easily. If they have games where they're very pressure heavy or very disruption heavy, but not backing it up with the other end of the thing, sometimes we have enough disruption to buy ourselves the turn or two for the Quintorious. Alternatively, if they have the all disruption draw, eventually you're going to find a powerful threat and stick it, and they're not going to have an answer for it, whether it be, Trumpeting Carnosaur off the top, or a Gyruda, or even a Herd Migration, or some of the other variants, the Virtue of Persistence kind of threatening to take over the game. Now, we've had some opponents with some of the other versions kind of play around that with things like Go Blank and stuff, but there's a lot of pound for pound, very powerful spells once you get past the first 4 or 5 turns of the game, with obviously Quintorious winning the game being the simplest, but Trumpeting Carnosaur putting a bunch of power into play, Gyruda putting a bunch of power into play. Gargaroth's a big dumb idiot. Yes, it does powerful things, don't get me wrong there, but it dies to so much removal that they're already going to be leaving in because of Quintorious and Trumpeting Carnosaur. It might be the best that's available on Arena, but I still think setting up for Dromoka is better. I don't know. Like, I need to find other people that do Quintorious content, or people that play it and I can watch them, because the whole Quakebringer Thought Distortion thing, it just feels like these are too many cards for the controllers matchups. Like, obviously, it's a different setup if you have Dromoka and such, but, like, Quakebringer, to me, screams anti-control, potentially bringing in against a Malia combo, which I think that's honestly too slow, and your normal game plan's just better, maybe bringing in a little bit of your disruption. Or against Angels, you could conceivably bring it in, but once again, it feels too slow. So I feel like this is an anti-control thing, and this is an anti-control thing, and you really don't generally have 8 pieces of things you want to remove, unless you're supposed to be boarding out like some of your acceleration to bring in all this, but then you're also running into the problem of you're trying to cast 4, 5, and 6 drops against a control deck with no or lesser acceleration. I don't know that that's correct either. So, for a deck that is relatively simplistic in what it can do and has very somewhat tight deck building restrictions, there's a lot of questions with this deck that, you know, the more I play it, I'm just like, okay, what is the right setup for this deck? So, anywho, wanted to get some gameplay in with the Gyruda version. Unfortunately, we literally, I don't think, ever cast Gyruda in this video. I have cast it a couple times. You know, sometimes it'll hit Trumpeting Carnosaurs or clone effects. Sometimes it'll hit, you know, opposing shoulders and stuff. It's a nice card. It's kind of like a Trumpeting Carnosaur-esque thing, and actually, ironically, is kind of the OG turn 4 I win combo, but a lot worse since the new companion rules. It used to be like you'd play, you know, Sylvan Caryatid and the other 2-mana quasi-hexproof creature, and then you try to ramp into that, and then Gyruda, and then win with like Dragonlord Kolagon, giving this thing haste. So, but I digress. This is Quintorious Combo with Gyruda. Not the most impressive showing, but we'll certainly continue to work on it and see if we can find a slightly version I like a little bit better. Although we definitely didn't face the best spread of matches for this deck. Two aggressive decks, and Rakdos is always a coin flip. So, anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like Pioneer content. See you for our next video.